Hello! How's it going?
Good. Oh
Good.
my goodness.
Hello.
Why are we so awkward?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I'm trying not to be. Hello everyone. Welcome to our official second episode of Q for You, the Q for You podcast. I am Mia, or Mia Fran.
And then I'm Chantal, however the heck, honestly, you want to say it.
And I'm Erica.
And this episode is finally, it's going to be about Ace of Diamond, or Dino Ace. So this was Chantal's recommendation for the month, and both Erica and I had never seen it before. We had to watch it for this podcast.
First
so,
time.
yeah, first time. So we watched Act 1, which is the first 2 seasons. So that's all we're going to be talking about right now. So, Chantal, go ahead, take it away. You have the floor.
All right, so there's a lot that we are going to talk about, but the last thing that we're going to talk about, because I already know that we're probably going to get ahead of ourselves, which will be our husbandos and stuff like that, so if you guys are excited about that, it's not going to be until the end. So, yeah, Ace of Diamond. This came out a long time ago. Like, I don't even remember what year, but it's been a few years. Okay, there you go. Erica has got it for us. So that's when season 1 aired. And season 1 has like about 75 episodes, and then season 2 has like 51. It took us about a month to finish it, which is a lot. And like, I know I said this before, and I think we all said this before too on our Twitters and stuff. You guys don't have to watch it. If you're listening in, like, don't worry about it, because I know it's a super duper long series and not everyone has the time for it, because it's really long. And there's sometimes where we even felt like, oh my god, like, how much longer is this gonna take?
It's a big commitment.
So don't feel bad if you guys, after listening to our podcast, you want to watch it, go ahead. My recommendation would be to watch 25 episodes at a time, so you don't feel too overwhelmed with 100 and something episode. Like, yeah, it's a lot. So just watch 25 at a time, take a break, watch a different anime, and then come back to it. So with that being said, I guess let's go ahead and talk about, what do you guys think makes Ace of Diamond so special compared to the rest of the sports anime that you guys have seen?
So I think the reason why the Ace of Diamond is a little bit more different than like other sports anime that I've seen is that it has a central character in Samura, but it focuses on him, but it also focuses on other people in the team and about their stories and about their struggles, and about other teams that they're playing, like the rival teams. It's not just focused on just Asian as the main character, which is really nice. So
I agree with that to an extent, because I think it's a little bit different, because I think what really makes it different from like other sports shows that I've seen is that it really focuses on the main team, like a good chunk of the time, because a lot of other shows or sports anime, they do focus on other teams to the point where like you don't know who to root for. But like me personally, I always just am rooting for Sato, because it's the team they show like
90% at least.
Yeah, whereas like other shows, you'll get to know the main team, but you also get to know like their rivals, or like a few rival teams, and like certain characters are more connected to the main team characters in a bigger way. But this show, I mean, they're connected to other characters on other teams, but not as much as like how other shows present it, which I think is interesting, because you know, it doesn't, I don't think it forces you to pick Sato as your favorite team, but it's more trying to tell you like this is like this team's story. There's the other teams, but it's mostly these people.
It's this
So that's who we're
story,
gonna
but these
focus
teams
on.
are also like
They're
integral
like,
to that as well.
yeah,
so.
like they're there, but
Mhm.
we're not gonna focus on them too much. That's why sometimes with this show, I get kind of mad when they focus on other teams.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
but then again, it can't be all about. I mean, it's about Sato, but then again, the show is like about like I would say about 80% about Sato and like other 20% about the other teams. So I mean, it's nice to have a little bit of break and focus on like a single team for a couple of episodes, and then go back to the main team of Sato, like for the majority of the series.
and usually I wouldn't be like getting mad about that in like other sports anime, or because like when that happens in other shows, I'm like, oh cool, I like these people, or oh I like that character from that. But like I don't know, a lot of the other characters on the other teams in this show, I'm like, oh I hate that guy. Like why are we focusing on him? He's so annoying. But,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, again, it presents itself a little bit differently, which is why I think answering the original question is why I think it's special and different from like other sports anime. Other than like their first 2 seasons have like a fuck ton of episodes.
All right. So what I think makes it different is this is like the one thing that I really, really like is that you get to see the third years leave, and it still continues on after they leave. Like it doesn't just stop immediately once they graduate. Like, oh, okay, like we'll go to nationals with our third years and stuff. Nope, you don't go to nationals with your third years. You move on. Life goes on.
Yeah,
and
true.
in season 3,
They have
the whole focus is like we get new first years. Samura, our main character, is now a second year. Our second years are now third years. They're gonna graduate, which is gonna be painful as fuck to see in season 3 whenever it happens. But yeah, that's one thing that I really, really like because they just kind of keeps on and like the cycle keeps moving. You get to see like all this happen again, but with like new characters and stuff, and see their struggles, getting used to like a new team and see what they gotta do to do better.
To bond, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really nice too. So
Yeah.
it's not just focused on like the 1 year of a team throughout the entire series. Like 1 year leaves and another year starts, and you get new people, and like it's really interesting.
Yeah, because I don't think I haven't seen this like really. The other sports anime that has done this is Yomushi Pedal.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because
That's about it.
Yeah, that's like that's about it. Yeah, that's the only other show where you see like 30 years leave, and then it starts the next year, and there's new people on their team, and everyone moves up a year.
So I definitely think that makes it stand out in its own way too. And then plus Seido is they're not a school that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because more sports anime either they start from scratch.
Yeah,
or they
like
suck.
they're bare like yeah, like they just started and like K and B that one like, oh, we started our team like last year. Like no, this is like an established team for like many years, and they're like really good.
They're one of like the top baseball schools, so they've got experience and stuff like that. And our main character, he's the only one that sucks really. Everyone else is like on different levels, which we'll get into that later as we go on. But I just thought that was really interesting. I was like, oh, like he's basically the only one that sucks. So,
yeah. He's the most amateur out of everybody else at that school.
And he has to, when he goes to Sato, he has to like adapt to their style of practice, style of game, the people, the coaches, and it's because he's from a smaller town or a different city. So when he goes to Tokyo to go to Sato, he has to adapt to everything. So
yeah,
it's
pretty interesting to see how.
And he grows a lot from that.
Yeah, to see like because I mean we kind of get to see him play middle school a little bit, and like see how much different that is compared to like Sato's practice, especially like at the beginning when you know he can't even like keep up with everybody. He has to like constantly run all the time because he's so fucking slow, and he has to, you know, he uses tires and stuff, and eventually, you know, he gets better and gets on a more even playing field as the other team members.
On equal footing, like
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I guess since we're talking about Samura, let's just go ahead and just talk about him. Because, oh my gosh, I think we have a lot to say about our idiot son.
Yeah, I think we can all agree. Everyone who watches this show and likes it, Sawamura is everyone's idiot son.
Mm-hmm. He gives a lot of like secondhand embarrassment. I gotta.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah,
Dude, legit, like half the time.
it's true.
Yeah, half the time I'm watching the show and he's like screaming stuff. I'm with the other characters. I'm like, please shut up. Like, stop.
Ignore.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna ignore what you're saying because
Yeah.
I'm feeling embarrassed too. Like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because there's like one thing that stands out for me that I will always remember from this season is when he was trying to pitch and he throws the fucking ball to the ground and everyone's just like, oh my god, like did that really just happen?
Yeah.
And Miyuki tries to hide the ball and pretend like it never happened. And I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
But he's also I think he's a really good character. I mean, he's definitely a little bit more out there compared to like a main character in a sports anime that I'm used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's way more energetic, but also like I feel like that energy also helps Sado a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's just like so positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For morale's sake. Like morale's sake for the team.
And that's just, and I like that that's just like his personality. He's not like just doing that just because like they're in a game or like he's not
Like he
trying
has to do it.
Yeah, like he's not like putting on a mask or anything. Like he's always like that.
I guess let's go ahead and talk about like his struggles and stuff because his struggles are really interesting. Like we said earlier, he sucks from the very beginning. He learns this right away as soon as he enters Sado because at first he thinks like, oh, like I want to grow, blah, blah, blah. Like he doesn't have like any expectations really. He just goes in and he's just like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And he has so many people around him that have been doing this for like so many years.
Yeah.
They have experience and stuff, and then here
he has no
experience.
Yeah, because the only reason he thinks he's so good and stuff is because on his middle school team he was the best player because everyone like was bad. Like nobody grew up really playing, and so like of course he's coming into this school like, oh, I got into this baseball school, so now I get to like show off my chops. But then like he tries to, and it's like, I mean, dude, you only got lucky to get in here.
Yeah.
Like, cause they saw they saw your potential, but you still like have a long way to go.
He has a long way to grow.
And he's only a first year, so like
at the time,
yeah, he's very
green.
Yeah.
Like,
and very narcissistic because you know, like I said, he was the best player on his middle school team, which isn't saying much. So of course he's gonna kind of have an ego about him, even though he can't really back it up.
And he did this at first just to play with his friends too. So I mean,
yeah.
He wasn't really doing it to get on to be
scouted. Like, oh, because I love doing this, blah blah blah. Like most of our characters.
Yeah,
that do
he
this.
He wasn't doing it to get scouted or to go pro. He was just doing it to have fun with his friends in middle school. So.
And then he just like fell in love with it, which you know, that's very relatable. A lot of people, you know, a lot of us, we don't normally like join things just because we want to. I mean, there are people that do, but I would assume that like most people are like, oh yeah, I just did it to have fun, and then you know, I just kept doing it. I'm sure we each have our own like experience of that because I know I do.
So I guess let's go ahead and talk about like his growth overall, I guess. Like his struggles, because this boy really did struggle a lot.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to watch, but at the same time it's like so rewarding to watch him grow. It's definitely an experience, but also like you feel bad when he gets back down because there are a few times where he's starting to get good and then all of a sudden something happens and then he's back to square one,
where it traumatizes him a little bit, I guess, in a way. And he has to kind of
one of the things that happened to him are his yips, which if you guys don't know, he basically in one episode he accidentally hit somebody in the head and that really fucks him up a lot to the point where he can't even throw right. So, because of this, he has to pretty much relearn everything, and it makes him feel pretty bad. Like it's so hard to watch because I didn't like seeing him so depressed about this. But it was all obviously mentally. So he has to overcome this by himself and like figure things out like, okay, what do I do from here? And it was pretty rewarding to see him like overcome this. I was so proud of him. Like he did it, like once he overcame this, he didn't even know he was okay. Like after a while, like he was fine. He was just like, huh?
He didn't
Like,
realize he
what
got
just
over
happened?
it.
Yeah, like the ones that noticed were like his teammates. They were like, hey, did you just like do that? And he was just like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what did I just do? But I mean, Samara is like we said, he's an idiot. So
he's very dense.
but I definitely liked seeing him overcome his yips and stuff.
Yeah, and I like that they use real life things that happen to people who play baseball. Like people get the yips, which is, you know, it's basically like they can't pitch anymore. They used to be a really good pitcher, and then something causes them to not be able to, and that's what the yips is. And I like that they use terminology and things. Like, it makes you actually have to Google shit, because...
Yeah.
But I like... I mean, I don't like that he has to struggle, but I like seeing him overcome the struggle.
It's relatable. Like, as you said, it's relatable.
Because
so.
he's the most entertaining pitcher on Sato's team. Like,
Mhm.
I like watching him pitch, even when he doesn't throw a good pitch.
Yeah.
Because, like, Furuya basically always throws, like, a perfect pitch. And Kawakami also has struggles, but he's not as entertaining to watch pitch.
Yeah.
As
yeah. For sure. Which I guess let's go ahead and talk about our next character, which is Furuya, because he has a lot of influence towards Samura. So Furuya is basically the better version of Samura, and
like the golden boy, like the golden boy of the team. Like I don't know how to say it, but like
he's the ace.
He's
like
the
I
best.
guess like all-star. I guess I don't know how to say it, but
he's the real MVP.
And he is your typical black hair character, very like calm and quiet.
Yeah,
he
very
keeps to himself.
very stoic.
Mm-hmm.
He's very serious. He's like the serious guy.
It's not like I don't like him. I do like him, but compared to Samura, he's definitely not as entertaining. And I can definitely see why so many people, because there are quite a few people I've gotten comments on my reviews are like, why, like, Furuya sucks, blah, blah, he's always like this, but like, really nasty comments about Furuya, and I'm just like, damn, y'all really don't like him. But I can kind of see why, because he's just like, so perfect. Like, even if he does struggle a tiny little bit, he doesn't really struggle.
Yeah,
he gets over it really quick.
Yeah, when he gets injured, like, it doesn't really faze him. He doesn't really care. He just wants to keep going. And then, like,
he wants to push through it.
Yeah, like, basically. It hurts, but then he's just like, oh, I taped it up, it's fine. And then he pitches perfectly again. Like, there was no problem. Yeah, I can see why. I agree with you. I can see why people don't like Furuya. But, I mean, his interactions with the other first years on the team are really fun to watch. Like, I think you need a character like that to kind of mellow out like the rest of the cast in terms of
to balance
like,
it out.
Yeah, in terms of like this very serious, straight-faced character, because he like never changes his expression. He always looks the same, very intense or like very like no expression, no emotion.
Yeah. And with Furuya, I mean, I kind of understand why he's like so closed off, and you can kind of see like little by little he starts to open himself a little bit. But it's because like back then no one wanted to play with him because he was too good. No one could catch his pitches.
Well, yeah, like who wants to play with someone who's like on a whole nother level?
Yeah, who's perfect
than everyone
basically.
else. Yeah, it's like it's not fun.
So it's until he comes to Sato and he meets Miyuki, which we'll get into at the very end because, but he finally found his place where he felt like he belongs. And he does grow a little bit, but it's not as dramatic, and you don't really see it as clearly as Samura.
and other people on the team. Like with
Mhm.
Samura and other people, you can clearly see like I don't know, like steps to where they're growing. But like with him, it's just like you see it, but it's just you see it for like a quick second, and you're just like, oh well,
It's very, very subtle with
yeah.
Furia.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I am hoping with season 3 is that we get something really dramatic with Furia. I know that sounds kind of harsh and bad, but in order for me to really, really
Yeah.
like him and for him to be relatable, I need to see him go through something that Samura did.
Well, yeah, again, like
Not
he needs there needs to be like an inciting incident or something for him to have like a character arc to make him an interesting a more interesting character, because out of all the main characters on like the team, he's probably only the least interesting just because he's so perfect and so serious and stoic, and that's like just like that's his one personality trait.
like there really isn't much going on with him. He doesn't really struggle.
Yeah, and like we saw some of his backstory kind of for like 2 minutes in total, I would say. Like, because you see other characters when they're little kids and like you kind of learn a lot more about them that way. But Furia, you see him as a little kid. He's not even like playing, he's standing there watching. Like he's not even playing the game. So like how can we see any kind of growth?
Yeah, it's like with
Yeah.
like as you were saying, like with other characters, we see like a huge glimpse into their childhood or and how they grew as characters in like the sport of baseball. But with Furia, it's just like very very subtle, very very quick. And then also between further on into the season, those with certain characters, those flashbacks would kind of come back and like get them in gear.
Yeah.
In like certain at certain
Yeah,
points.
we're shown those characters' growth. We're just told Furia is good, and like, okay, I believe you because that's what everybody says. He's perfect, and then every time I see him play, he's like really good. So I can assume
And
he's always
everyone
been good.
has high expectations for him.
Yeah.
He's pretty much the ace after the third year's leave.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's chosen as the ace.
everyone has like I said, high expectations for him, and he is living up to them. So there really isn't much to him.
Yeah, there's not
Which is
really
why-
there's not a lot for him to overcome at all.
Yeah, which is why I'm hoping in season 3 we get something dramatic with him, because that
like,
would be great.
Showcases that showcases.
Yeah,
A
literally
struggle.
the only like bad things that have ever happened to him was his nail broke and he was bleeding, and then like he tore the
His
ligaments.
foot.
He tore the ligaments in his ankle, but it was a
Yeah.
sprain, and it wasn't even like a bad tear even.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when he taped it up, it was fine. And
Or
that's
when
it.
someone like hits his pitch and he can't pitch for a little bit, but then
Yeah.
he, like I said, he gets back up and he's fine.
Or
after
they
a while.
don't let him pitch when he wants to pitch, and then he just
And he
like,
gets kind of
gets
angry.
mad, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then he's fine the next game. So it's like there really isn't too much
Yeah.
with him.
It's just little things. It's like not things that aren't very like huge. Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
He's not that. Yeah, he like. There's not much to him, but we talked about him a lot.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
well,
just he definitely influences Samura because Samura sees him like that's the one thing that I really like. They see each other as rivals,
Mhm.
and Furia does mention this. He's like, there wasn't like a time I thought I was better than him. So I thought that was like really nice of Furia to see, because like he does come off as a little bit of arrogant, and
Yeah.
he like when you first meet him, you're like, oh, he kind of thinks that he's like all that. But once you hear him say this, you're like, oh, okay, maybe you're not as bad as I thought you were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he clearly like acknowledges that Sawamura is his rival, and that they're I mean they're obviously not the same level, but
yeah.
as Sawamura
But they make each other better. They
Yeah.
make each other better.
yeah, they make each other better, and
Yeah.
like as Sawamura is growing, where Furia
so
is
is
not.
Furia. So like, yeah.
In terms of like becoming a better pitcher, I think Sawamura is definitely growing. Furia, I mean, he's learning new pitches and stuff, but like he's like perfect, so of course he's gonna get them like first try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
He definitely like they just make each other better. They balance each other out
Yeah.
for sure. So if one sees the other one improve, it kind of motivates the other to like do better. So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of all we really want to say with Furia and Samura's relationship with that, like them being proper rivals. Like it's really fun to see, like seeing them trying to one up each other, especially like when they're running. Like if Samura's trying to run faster than him, there comes Furia like trying to run in front of him.
Yeah.
And it's like constantly like that a lot.
They're trying to one
And
up
it's
each other.
Yeah, which is very, very fun to see. I guess let's go ahead and talk about like the teams now, because I think we got like a few things to say about the other teams. Which we do get introduced to a few teams, but like Mia was saying, you really don't care too much for them because they're not really fleshed out.
They're not like long-term kind of teams.
Yeah,
They're, like, a couple episodes, a game's worth. And
Yeah,
then
it's
kinda...
like every time they're gonna play another team, then we like cut to that team. But then once the game against them is over, then we just go on to the next. People,
like the only teams that you really do get to know is Yakushi and Inashiro, which we got a lot of things to say about Inashiro. So I guess let's start with Inashiro because that is like the team that we really do not like the most, specifically because of Mei.
Yeah, Narumiya.
Okay, Mia, you go first.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say what we're all thinking. He's so fucking annoying. Like, and he's like kind of a jerk. Like, I don't know, every time he's on screen I want to like fast forward because I'm like, oh, I don't care about this dude. Like, oh, he's just so annoying. And again, like, well, in the first season, like, he's the ace for Inashiro, and like he's perfect basically. I mean, he can like pitch a perfect game pretty much. He can get 3 people out in a row. Nobody can hit his pitches almost. He basically like put his team together basically, or like at least his year together on the team. You know, he got all these people from different places. And he even like asked Miyuki to join, and Miyuki was like, "Nah, dude, fuck you. I'm not going to."
Yeah.
And then he was angry about it.
Yeah, and yeah, so like I don't know. He's just, I don't care for him at all.
Yeah.
He's just not. I don't know.
Yeah, I know people in the fandom really, really love him, and that's great. But like for me, he's just. No, thank you. I could care less about him. So anytime they focus on him, I'm just like, oh my god, why?
Yeah, that one episode where they focused on Inashiro a lot, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, especially in season 2 when they're really non-existent, Inashiro, because Narumiya fucks up because of how arrogant he is.
But I was glad that they lost that because I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Good.
It humbles them kind of in a way.
Yeah.
Like,
well, except for Mei,
except for Narumiya, of course, but
yeah,
I meant the team other than him.
Yeah, it's just, oh my god. I think that's why we don't like him, is because of how arrogant he is, and no matter like his struggle, he's still just an arrogant little shit.
Yeah.
He still thinks he's better than everyone else. It's just like, oh my god, like why are you like this? Why, like, listen to people, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's such a child.
Yeah, it was very satisfying to see him get knocked down a few pegs because they lost at nationals, so haha, but 2, then they lost to Yakushi.
But I think the thing is that when it happens, I felt bad for the rest of the team most of the time. But then I was like, Narumiya, you got what you deserved as a player because you think you're better than everybody else. You think you can hit any pitch that anybody, like, you can throw any pitch and like strike out anybody. And it's nice that he got a taste of his own medicine, but I felt bad for the rest of the team. Because to be honest, I don't hate Inashiro as a whole. I just do not like him.
It's just Mei in particular that we don't really like.
Yeah,
the other characters are fine.
Yeah,
it's just him.
He's just he's the like bad apple
in the bunch.
Yeah, like
So,
And the thing with him is like once the third year leaves, everything kind of falls on Mei's shoulders, and because of how arrogant he is, things just like the whole team starts falling apart.
Yeah, he starts fucking
Mhm.
up.
Because
And-
the third year that left kind of kept everything in check and together.
And he kept Narumiya in check, even though like they would bicker and everything. He would at least have some type of control over
him.
May.
Yeah. Mhm.
Which, oh my god. I guess we're done talking about Inashiro for now. Let's go ahead and talk about Yakushi because they're kind of interesting. Because this is another team that does get heavily focused on a lot, especially in season 2. Yakushi, what can we say? So they're basically like the underdog. They were really never good until like Coach Todoroki comes in and like lights a fire under them, and then because of him and he knows like a couple of kids that would be great.
Yeah, because of him and his son Raichi.
His son and his friends like bring in like a whole different game,
a whole different air to the team. Like it gives them morale. Like yeah, they don't think they're very good but as soon as like the coach and his son come in, it just picks up the morale of the team and kind of just makes them be better and try to like do better.
Yeah, because their school never went to like the semifinals or nationals or anything. So this is like their first time doing any of this. So it was kind of fun to see a team like this, like where you're used to like seeing the underdog, and you can't help like, oh yeah, I kind of like them and like in a way. And a lot of the characters are pretty interesting.
It's interesting
and
to
there's
see them.
one character specifically, Raichi.
Yes,
like he's kind of like Samura, but a little bit way more intense and a little bit more dumber. Samura.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I just don't like his laugh. I'm just like, please stop laughing.
Oh my gosh,
stop.
his laugh. His laugh is kind of like, oh my god.
His maniacal laugh.
Yeah.
And you'll always see him eating a banana for whatever reason. We don't.
Kind.
So he's an interesting character.
He is an interesting character.
And he's really good at batting. That's the main reason why Yakushi is pretty good. Is because of him and his friends, and because of Sanada. Sanada is like their ace, their pitcher. Which Sanada is very, very pretty.
I like Sanada.
But yeah, with going back to Raichi, I know I'm jumping back and forth a little, but Raichi, his backstory, you do get like a big chunk of his backstory and get to see like how long he's playing. And I really like his relationship with his dad. Like his dad's pretty hilarious. He's a very interesting coach. You can't help but like this team and like the characters. They're a fun bunch.
Yes.
I think that's pretty much it, really. I don't know if you guys want to add on to anything else with this team.
I just like how like Raichi and his father, like how much they love baseball, how much like all of the teams love baseball. It just how they started like from basically nothing, and they kind of gathered people, and like they built this team that could be a contender possibly for like the bigger titles. So like it's just really interesting to see that, and it's really nice. The characters are one of a kind and crazy, and there's just a different bunch of characters. It's just not like a one type of team. So
they have like a total different energy compared to like the other teams, and it's so fun to see. Like anytime they show up, I always have a fun time.
I always smile when I see them a little bit. I'm like, hi Raichi. So
like they're very entertaining. Like
I agree.
Besides Sato, I think you guys would like Yakushi. For those of you listening, you'll have a fun time with them and the characters.
Yeah.
The next thing that I want to talk about will be Chris Senpai and Samura's relationship.
Yay!
Let's talk about them for a bit.
Here we go.
So Mia, like, we're gonna have to hold ourselves back a little bit. Like, we do have, like I said, a little bit of a segment where we're gonna talk about our husbandos in this team.
No, don't worry. I won't go crazy.
We will try to hold ourselves back as best as we can, but no promises. But Chris and Samura's relationship is like a big focus in season 1, and it kind of goes into season 2 a little bit. Even though Chris, you know, he's a third year, he's gonna graduate. You don't see him really in season 2 because they have to retire. But in season 1, their relationship kind of starts off really rocky, and when you meet Chris, you kind of don't really like him at first because he's
Yeah.
just so cold and like so mean. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, why are you so hard? Like,
Yeah, I remember being like, oh my god, like who is this like a-hole dude? Like what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
I remember being like, what is wrong with him? Like why is he so
He's
mean
such an
and
ass
shit?
at first.
Yeah, and like but then like and I too was with Salmuda. I'm like, why the fuck is this dude leaving practice early? Like what the fuck? Like does he not give a shit? Or like like what? You know?
Yeah, and when Samura was like throwing his training regimen that Chris wouldn't even hand it to him.
Yeah,
He would have someone else
get a
hand
me-
it to him.
get a messenger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Samura would be like so pissed and annoyed. He was just like, "What the fuck? Like I'm like a pitcher. Aren't I supposed to be pitching?" And I would get frustrated for Samura too because it's like he would leave without any explanation or anything and
Yeah.
just be like, "Okay, here
Yeah.
you go. Do this."
Yeah, I think that the relationship they have started off hostile, but as Saramuda and Chris, they got to know each other and how each other works as a member of the team, how they can better each other through the exercises, through pitching, through all this stuff. They kind of bonded a little more, and they and their relationship changed for the better. So
yeah, then, like even like when like at the very beginning of the relationship when Samura is doing the things that Chris is telling him to do. Like Chris is like, okay, like he's doing it, but I really don't think he's gonna improve or like.
He doesn't really think much about it.
Yeah, or he's like I don't know why I got paired with him because I really don't care. So whatever. Okay, he's doing the things I'm telling him to do, but like whatever, I still really don't care. And yeah, I didn't I'm like, what the fuck? Like what a jerk.
Yeah. Because like Salmuda sees it as like I said, he sees it like, why is this guy being so mean to me? And like why is he making me do like 100 sprints down the field or whatever? And like but as soon as he got used to how Chris teaches, I guess, he kind of like he's like, now I see why he's doing all this to me, like why he's so focused on pitching, why he's so focused on the exercise, why he wants to have Salmuda like bond with the team. And like so he I guess it started off rocky, but now he understands why Chris like was that way with him as a new player.
Yeah.
So
and the main reason why Samura like finally understood Chris a little bit was because Miyuki got pissed.
Yeah.
Hearing Samura say, you know, like, shouldn't he leave the team? He's always leaving early. Like, basically bad-mouthing Chris.
Yeah.
And
well,
Miyuki
yeah, especially
because
he doesn't
having that shit.
Yeah, especially because Salmona and the audience at that point, we don't know
yeah,
why.
because we didn't know why Chris
and
was
so
like that.
yeah, so like and like you could kind of tell possibly also like, oh well maybe like because both Chris and Miyuki are both catchers, and it's like, oh but Miyuki's a second year and Chris is the third year, and he used to be on the start, like on the first string, and then Miyuki came in, and so it's kind of like, oh he's just you're just thinking like, oh he's bitter because Miyuki took his spot. But then when Miyuki comes in and says, no dude, like I fucking respect him, like you shouldn't be saying shit about him, like you don't know what the fuck he's been through, then it's like, okay, I clearly we the audience and Samura need to like step back a little bit and figure out what the fuck his deal is.
And that's when we get revealed because Rei-chan, I know that's how Miyuki calls her, which is like the scouting lady.
Yeah.
She's like the, yeah.
She basically brings Samura to where Chris is at, where he's been going after school, and why he's been missing practice, and we get the reveal that he's injured.
He's in physical therapy.
Like very injured.
Yeah, and I was like, I remember watching that the first time. I was so shocked, and I was just like, oh my god, everything makes sense now, and I felt so bad.
Yeah, like injured to the point where he hasn't played in a year, like a year. Like, so yeah, exactly. Like I felt super bad. I was like, oh shit, like
you're like, oh
dude,
now I get
like that.
Even
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I would have felt so bad too, and he was like, what the fuck? Like, why didn't you tell me? Like, I sound like an idiot now. I was like, yeah, we all sound like an idiot.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, why did you let me, a stupid first year, like say all those mean things, like say all those stupid things to you? Like you should have told me, because that
Complain,
would have,
yeah.
that would have put me in my place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because then he feels
Yeah.
bad for even
Yeah.
like thinking
Mhm.
that stuff.
Because I think that Chris, like in his mind, he was injured, so he like once he got injured, he kind of just like stepped back from the team. He was still part of the team, but like not in a major way. So he wants to make sure that the team as a whole, including Samura, does better because he wants them to grow as a team, and like that's why
Yeah.
he's so hard on everybody.
Oh, well, I was just gonna add, like, well, and because, like, you know, when you're injured and you're part of the team, like, and you're a main part of the team, like, that's, like, a major blow.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Yeah,
you,
on top
like,
of
kind of
that,
hurtful.
he was
yeah, because you can't do anything.
and then he was scouted.
Mm-hmm.
Like a long time ago, he already had a spot to like go like join like an actual team. Like after, like he had a future all set up for him because his dad was also like a really famous like baseball player, which his dad is very weird.
What the fuck?
Unique.
But his dad basically had his own future for Chris. Chris already had everything like lined up and everything, and for like this injury to pop up,
Yeah, it was all planned, and that's injury.
everything like fell apart, and obviously
Mhm.
he got depressed, and you can kind of see that in
his face, like
yeah, like his eyes are
eyes,
just completely
mostly.
dark.
He doesn't have
Mhm.
pupils for, like, half the first season, pretty much.
Yeah, and it isn't until like really when Samura finds out like about his injury and stuff that he starts to gain a little bit of light back into his eyes.
Yeah,
You actually
yeah.
start to see like his eyes shine,
And then,
and
yeah,
it's all
and then
pretty.
and then it's not until, like, way later when, like, Samura starts improving a lot thanks to Chris's help that, like,
Mhm.
his eyes return, like, completely normal, so he's not
Yeah.
like all sad anymore.
it's like Samura. Chris's injury gave Samura perspective as to
Mhm.
like to be better. I don't know how to say it, but it kind of
Yeah.
kept him in check. Like what? Like now I understand why he was like that with me,
Mhm.
and now I can see him in a different way.
Well, and then he respects him a lot more, like,
With a lot of
Yeah.
respect.
I mean,
and-
eventually Samura, like, stops even calling him Chris Senpai. He just calls him, like, master, like
Yeah, it's so
like,
funny.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
I like that he kind of towards the end of, like, season 1 and the end of season 2 also, when the third years graduate and stuff, that, like, you know, you can tell he's, like, extremely appreciative of, like, everything that Chris has done for him, and, like, you can tell he's like, you know, he's probably feeling like, I'm so much better now that I had somebody like Chris Senpai to, like,
Mhm.
help me
It's like-
improve.
It's like he wouldn't be that where he is now without Chris Senpai's help
Without Chris.
and the team. So like
Mhm.
he's grown
Chris-
so much without
Yeah.
that whole, I guess, year. I would say I don't know what the
Mhm.
time is between everything. So
Yeah, he had like a really huge influence on Samura, but also Samura has like an influence on Chris because, like
Mhm.
we were
Mhm.
saying, he was depressed and everything, and Samura gave him back that light. He lit a fire back into Chris's heart to where he wanted to play, even for just like a little bit, because he does get to play with Samura, and oh my god, I was so happy that they were able to do
Yeah.
like a battery together, even for just a little bit. Like it was so nice to see them play together just once for like just a tiny little second. That's
I
all
know,
Chris
dude.
really wanted to do.
That's, like, making me, like, I get all misty-eyed. TBH.
I know.
Like,
Oh my
like,
God.
I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm thinking about, like, the last episode of season 2, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
because their relationship is, like,
It's so nice.
yeah,
It's so cute.
I'm just like, and then,
Like-
yeah, like, remembering that they got to be a battery together and play together, like, for one game, even, like, oh man,
Mhm.
yeah,
That,
it's
like-
genuine. It's a genuine relationship.
Yeah, they
friendship.
both have like a respect for each other because they know that without each other, like they wouldn't be where they are right now.
Mhm.
And it's just it's so beautiful seeing their relationship, like how it started like so rocky and so bad to like where they are now, and it's just so beautiful to see it.
They're very close.
And even when Samura had his yips, who was there to help him? Chris. Like he came to the rescue and like helped Samura get through it. I was just like, oh my god.
Every time Chris came back in the show, I was just like, I was like immediately like invested, and I was like, okay. Like when someone got the yips and stuff, and you know, they're like, what do we do, how's it gonna get over? I'm like, dude, you just bring Chris senpai, like, come on,
let him talk to him about it.
Come on, where's Chris? Like, I remember saying like, where's Chris senpai, come on, he needs to come in here and fix everything. And then he did, and then and you know, it was so nice to see.
Yeah, their relationship will make you cry for sure, especially when you see them graduate. Like, it's like, oh my god, like seeing Chris graduate and seeing Samura like start bursting into tears. I was like, no!
Dude, don't even like, I'm legit gonna cry right now.
Because they're both so proud of each other.
Yeah.
So.
And
I don't want to cry.
You can definitely tell like Chris is so proud of Samura and how far he's come too.
Yeah.
It's so nice, you guys. Like, I cannot stress that enough. And like, you see, like right now, I'm getting all emotional. God damn it!
I know. I want to see them play with each other again. Like at some point. I know. I'm getting emotional now too. God damn it, anime. But I remember like I was doing fine that whole episode, even that whole part, and then like Samura just like starts crying, and I was just like getting like how I am right now, like getting very
his
teary
last
and
words
stuff.
kind of got to you, huh?
Like it's such a nice relationship.
It's a really good relationship. I love it.
First, before we talk about Miyuki, let's talk about our favorite characters, like our best boys and stuff.
Okay,
top 3, I would say.
Yeah, before we get into like our top 2 husbandos that me and Mia clearly very
before we get into the fawning over
we'll definitely leave that for last, but anyway, I guess let's go ahead and talk about our favorite characters.
Okay, you go first, Chantal.
Okay, so because there is a lot of characters
in
this, but I definitely think my favorites would be oh man, this is like so hard, but I definitely think it's like Miyuki. I would have to say he's first. No, god damn it, this is so hard. It's really hard to rank them, but like my top 3 for sure would be Miyuki, Chris, and then Kuramochi, because Kuramochi, he doesn't really get too much like to shine, really. Like he does, but not
too
really
much screen time or character development or anything like that.
He does get like an OVA specifically about himself, which I did send, but I don't know if you guys watched it. But that OVA really changed my perspective of like how I felt with Kuramochi. And I started to see him like very, very differently, because
Is that
I did not notice this when I first watched it, but my second time around I was like, oh yeah, it's always been there, like very, very subtly. He deeply cares for like his teammates, and he's super observant. There's not anything that you can hide. Like when
that's why he saw Miyuki was injured.
He was the first
he knew
one
about
to
it
see.
first.
He like spotted it like immediately that Miyuki was injured,
and Miyuki was like, no, I'm fine. No, what are you talking about?
He's just and he was just like, cut the bullshit. Like, I know something's wrong. You can't hide this from me. And Miyuki also knows that he's super observant, so he's just like, well, I really can't hide it from him. Like, he knows. So it's really hard to hide like little things to Kuramochi, because he'll pick him up instantly. He even picked up like another injury with the third years, which was the older Kominato brother Ryom, which I thought was really interesting. Like, nobody noticed it but him. And they always left that pressure to Kuramochi, where he was like, well, if you think I'm holding back the team, then like let the coach know. Miyuki kind of does the same thing too. Like, he doesn't say anything, but Kuramochi's like, okay, if I see that you are holding back the team, I'm telling the coach. So it was really interesting, and like I said, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed and really loved about Kuromochi, which is also like why he's my husbando. Like at the end of the day, like yes, I love Miyuki and he's like the ultimate husbando and stuff. So is Chris Senpai, but like I have such a soft spot for him. Like seeing how observant he is and how caring he really, really is. Like I said, it's subtle, but it's there. So if you really pay attention to it and listen to when Miyuki calls it out, because Miyuki does call it out like subtly too, it's there. And you'll see and you'll be like, oh, like shit, like I wouldn't have noticed that. So yeah, those are like my top 3 favorites. What about you guys? Whoever wants to go next.
You can go first, Mia.
Okay. Well, I mean, in no particular order. Man, I have to pick 3? Just 3? Okay. Well,
I mean, you don't have to pick 3, but those
okay.
are my 3.
Okay, so my 3 is like pretty much the same, except I'm gonna put Haruichi in there because he's so cute. I love him. Okay, so yeah, I have Miyuki and Chris Senpai, obviously, and then Haruichi. And Haruichi, like I liked him the very beginning just because he's so cute. He's got a cute design. Like I love like that he's like, you know, he's a shorter kind of character. Like he's quiet a lot of the time, but you can tell that he cares a lot about the other players on the team. And like when he gets put on first string with his brother, like he's so happy and like excited because he wants to play with his brother.
Yeah.
He wants to be like his brother at the end of the day.
Because they have a strong bond.
And like I love that because I don't know, I just like seeing him all excited, like, and I love every time he hits, like he gets on first base, like he'll put his little fist up and then he like blushes. Oh, he's so cute. Like I love him.
He's so cute.
And then also Haruchi, like like you said, Haruchi's very like very like backseat. He doesn't like really interact very much, but if he has something to say, you will know because he will tell you.
He'll tell you straight up. He will not sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
Especially with Samura, which I'm like, I'm glad Samura has a friend to like keep him in check in that sense. And I also like that he has a interesting like not a trait, but a little quirk about him. You know, he only bats with like a wooden bat, and he never uses a metal bat
because it's special. It's special to him.
Like I really like him, and he's fucking cute, and he's my small child, and I love him. Anyway, those are my top 3 favorites.
My top 3 favorite members would be, I do like Miyuki, and it would be Miyuki, Haruchi, and I would say, I don't know, Kawakami, because okay, so I'm gonna get everybody's favorite out of the way. Miyuki, he's pretty. He's a really handsome boy, but that's not the only reason I like him. He's like he loves the team. He wants to do, like, everybody on the team, they want to do better for each other. He wants the team to grow. He wants the team to do well. He wants to, like, when he goes to he is like very playful and very like jokey, but when it comes down to it, he's very serious, and I really like that.
Yeah.
And like when he's promoted to captain, he doesn't know how to take it. He doesn't want it. And you can see how all that pressure of him being captain kind of falls on him towards the end of the season a little bit, and he kind of has to deal with how to get back up from that. And I think that's really interesting. Now Haruchi, like I've already said, he is very sweet with a side of sassiness. He is very serious. He is very quiet. I like the relationship between him and Samura, because they're both coming into this school, as first years. They need to get to know the team. They need to get to know each other, and their bond is very nice.
Mhm.
And I also like the bond between himself and his brother. It's very sweet. It's very, I don't know, endearing, and how much he loves his brother and the sport of baseball. He wants to be better for himself and for his brother. He wants to show his brother that he can, like, surpass him in a way. And it's just very interesting. It's very nice. It's very touching. And I would say Kawakami. Okay, Kawakami. He is. I just like. He's kind of like. If you've seen Haikyuu, he's kind of like Yamaguchi, a little bit, because
Yeah.
he is very. He's kind of like the support of the team, kind of a little bit. He's like the third pitcher.
He's a relief pitcher.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so, like, when he gets on the mound, he's very serious. He wants to do good. But whenever something bad happens, it really, really, really affects him. And, like, he always wants compliments from Nabe. He likes to have compliments. He likes to know he's doing good. He wants to help the team grow. He wants to please the coaches, please the team. He wants to, he is just very, I don't know how to say it. He's just very surprising as a character.
Yeah.
As I would say.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see him. Like, you have Samura and Furia, so he's always constantly having to figure out like how to stand up.
How to compete with it. And whenever he does get his times to shine, he really does. And he really is appreciative of those times.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause he's very, like, I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah, because you always feel bad for him. Like whenever Samura and Furia are always doing like better, and you're like, oh, what about Kawakami?
yeah.
But he also gets inspired by the two of them, and he also wants to strive to do better too. So he doesn't get left behind either.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Seeing those
that
two,
he's-
inspires him to be better and to
Yeah.
learn. So, and it's
For
nice.
sure.
And he has a fan in the assistant coach.
Oh yeah, the assistant coach like loves him. Every minute he's like, Kawakami, get Kawakami. I'm like, oh my god.
Before we get into everybody's favorite, and before we talk about that for a long
Yeah,
time.
I mean, we got like a few things left to
Do you want to talk about the coaches and the staff?
Yes, let's talk about that because I don't have it on here, so that's a good topic to talk about too. Because the coaches, the three of us, there's one specifically that we really do not like.
Yep.
At all. He's very much of an ass. My opinion still has not changed. Even after season 3, like he's there, but not as much as he was on season 2.
Yes, I agree.
But he's still an ass because of everything that he's done and said to our characters. Like, it still doesn't sit well with me.
Really, the only reason to have this character, what the fuck is his name again? I forget.
I don't know.
He'll probably be on the goddamn screen, so you'll know who the fuck we're talking about. Whatever his name is. Ochiai, that's his fucking name.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, he's there so the characters can grow. Obviously, like, that's why this character is there, to kind of be a foil or, like, be
an obstacle.
He's an antagonist, basically, in like every sense of the word. So, like, of course, like, you have to have a character like that, but that doesn't mean we can't hate him, because he's just like, oh, what a jerk. Like, he says, like, he's very meticulous and very shady, pretty much, because he tells, certain characters things like, well, you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. You should just be doing this. Well, if I was the head coach, I would do this, this, and this, and I would sacrifice the team for one person and blah, blah, blah. And, like, you know, completely different style of coaching, and it's different baseball.
He basically wants to dismantle the team if he's made coach and, like, rebuild it.
He wants to focus, basically make this team revolve around Furia, which does not sit well with me either.
Well, yeah, especially because, like, I mean, like, Furia is perfect, basically, but, like, that's so boring. That's not challenging. That's not letting
the only thing.
That's not letting the other players on your team grow as players.
Yeah, because having one player that's perfect should not be the basis of an entire team. The entire team should grow together and not just based on one person.
Then it's not a team. It's just like
He literally does not give a shit about anyone else but Furia. That's basically, like, the point being, like, that's his message. That's the way he's gonna teach if he were to take the reins. And it's just like, oh my god, the team is going to, like, fall apart if this guy is made coach. And the reason why this guy gets introduced is because, like, the main coach, which someone calls him, like, boss or shades.
It's Kataoka. The best one.
Yeah. He is a little harsh at first, especially with Samura, but, like, he does it out of, like, it's, like, more tough love than anything, because he does see potential in Samura for sure. And just like us, the audience, and everyone else, Samura continues to improve and he continues to surprise us, and it's also why, you know, the coach wants to keep him. He's improving, and then, like, his, you know, the energy that Samura always brings to the team it lifts everyone's spirits up and everything. And his style of coaching, he wants the whole team to grow as a whole, not just one person, because he knows how much a team can help build each other up. So whatever anyone else is lacking, they can, like,
there's other people that can make up for that.
For sure.
His training is a little I don't know how to say it. I want to say harsh, but it's not.
It really isn't.
It's not harsh.
Yeah. Like, if you really think about it, it's not that bad.
No, it's very I don't know how to explain it.
I know,
but he definitely cares for the team
coach.
A lot.
Yeah.
He cares, especially for the third year. So when they lose, he feels so bad and responsible that they lost that he wants to resign.
He takes it all on himself.
No, which is why this other coach gets introduced.
Yeah.
And the whole time we're like, oh my god, please don't leave. Please don't leave. And, like, the rest of the team finds this out and they're like, what the hell? Like, we're not going to let you leave. So they try to do everything to take him to nationals so he doesn't leave and he has a reason to stay.
And you can see, like, his backstory when he was at Seido and how that coach shaped him as a coach, and how he took all the things he's learned from that coach and implemented it into his training of the team that he's coach of now, and how that's helped them. It means a lot to him. So,
well, you can tell he's a good coach because he cares, one, about the team, obviously, but also about the sport. And, like, you know, he gives them very difficult exercises and things to do, and he makes them do a lot of the same kind of practice all the time. But, like, it's one of those things where if this were real, like, in 10 years those players that maybe, like, would get annoyed, like, oh, I hate that he makes us do all these things, they'd come back and, like, say, like, coach, you were like,
thank you,
you were like, you made me love the sport even more, blah blah blah. Like, and I only say that because my dad used to be a coach, and he would, like, be really hard on the players and stuff, but then, like, when they would come back and they would see my dad, like, somewhere out, you know, around town and stuff, like, they would be like, coach, thank you so much.
Yeah,
like,
it's the same thing with my stepdad. My stepdad was a coach for baseball as well.
It's super so, you know, it's very, like,
appreciative.
Yeah.
And the
So,
funny thing is that Coach Ochai mentions it. He's like, "Oh, they really love him." Blah blah blah. He's like, "I've never had anyone come back to me." I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, what do you think?"
yeah. Okay, this is what I
Clearly,
want to say
there's a
about
problem.
This is what
Yeah.
I wanted to say about the training. I was trying to think of what the word it was. The training is
Mhm.
intense, but it helps them grow as people, as a team, and their love of the sport. Because
Mhm.
he does love the sport. He does love the team. So
Mhm.
like he wants to lift up the team. I guess I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah.
he may seem like a jerk and
Mhm.
all that at first. That's what I thought. I was like, man,
Yeah.
why is he like that? But as the seasons progressed, I was like, man, now I get why he's like that, because I
Mhm.
was around baseball for a while too, so I kind of understand how much people who understand the sport and who love it really are really appreciative of how, when coaches are a little bit tough love on it, like how they're, if they have tough love with the way they train, how appreciative people are of it. And I enjoy him as a character much more now. So
Mhm. Another thing I want to add to Coach Ochai is that he taught a pitch to Samara that actually helped him improve.
the one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was the one thing that he was good at.
Like he clearly knows what he's talking about when it comes to like certain things.
Certain
Yeah.
aspects.
But
the-
in terms of like his attitude or like
Mhm.
the way he goes about doing things,
Yeah.
is clearly not like the same as Kataoka, because obviously, like, you know, he does do some good, but it's only after he kind of is like, well, I guess I'll teach it to him, but I don't know if he's
Mhm.
gonna even like show that it, like, he can even do it. And then he's always surprised
Yeah.
when they like throw his expectations out of the water, because, you know, he doesn't really have any expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like ready to kick someone. He's like, if someone was on my team, I would not let him. I was like, oh my gosh,
Well,
like
yeah,
no,
he,
no, no.
yeah, he even says like, if I was the head coach, I'd only have like 20 people.
Oh yeah.
I'd only have
Yeah.
20 people here. Everybody else would be
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
like, who cares about like the extras and stuff like that? I was just like, oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And whatever he said about Haruichi.
Oh my god. He does talk to Haruchi and oh my god, I did not. I was like, why did you come to my precious son? He has done nothing wrong.
But then Haruichi like proved him wrong and like didn't
Yeah.
give a
That's
fuck.
Yeah.
right.
Which I love that they
So-
continue to prove him wrong and he has to like come back and think about it. He's just like, well, shit.
He has to second guess everything, what he
Yeah,
says and
he's
his
like-
actions.
Yeah.
He's slowly learning why the way Kataoka coaches works.
Why it's
Mhm.
impactful.
Yeah,
Why
he's
so.
like, he's slowly understanding, because you can tell like he'll make his observations and be like, well, I didn't think that would be effective or whatever, and like he's
Mhm.
kind of like mulling it over in his head. So like, I don't know, maybe he'll like not become such an asshole in the future. I have no fucking clue, but for now I think we can all agree that he
Mhm.
sucks.
Yeah.
The only good he ever did was teach breaking balls to Furia and Samura, and that's it.
And I also say like the way he like goes about like his thoughts to the other team, like to each of the player about what he thinks they should do, is a little underhandedly. Like it's underhanded a little bit. It's a little bit snarky, and I didn't like that. And I was like, why? Why do you have to be like that? Why can't you just tell them straightforward without being so awful? Like,
Mhm.
so, because I'd rather hear it straightforward with no nonsense without you being a jerk.
Yeah.
And like underhanded.
So the next thing I want
I
to
agree.
ask y'all is, what do you guys want to like see in season 3 now that you've finished? What do you expect? Is there anything you're looking forward to, something that you want to happen?
I want to see more of Junichi's of the rival. Like, I know Inoshita was a big part of the first season and kind of in the second season a little bit, but I want to see like another team kind of get a little bit more. I know like more of a spotlight a little bit, not like have the whole thing revolve around them. I want to know more about the characters. I want to meet the new characters. I've met some of them, and there's some that I like already. And I want to know, like, I want to see more about Samura, the team, the school as a whole, how they deal with all of the, I don't know, success, failures of the team, and how they are better from that.
One thing that I want to see happen in season 3 is, like I said earlier at the beginning of our podcast, is I want something to happen to Furia. He needs something for me to really like. I do care about him, but he needs something for me to really like care about him and make him more relatable. I want to see him go through a big struggle, not just like a tiny little thing and then he gets over it instantly. I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see him actually struggle and figure out how the heck he's gonna get back up from this.
I agree.
All right, what about you, Mia? Is there anything you want to see? Or
I'm sure it will happen. I don't know, but I want to see where the third years are, like what's going on with them, because I want to know like who went to college and who's playing professionally, and like if they go to college, are they gonna now be on a team with like someone they were rivals with in high school, like, things like that. Like, I just want to know.
That'd be interesting.
I want to see. And I want to see if any of them are like one, like, you know, and I want to see like what if someone stopped playing and is like doing something completely different, like what happened, why did
their life
change?
After baseball, kind of, or like so like
I want to see that, because I mean, especially with the Sato characters, because it's like we got really invested in the third years, especially in season 1. So like I want to know what happened to like the main third year characters.
But I guess to like really finish off this, not really the whole podcast episode, but just to finish off our overall thoughts, is what was y'all's experience and like overall thoughts with these 2 seasons of Ace of Diamond?
I think for me, at the beginning, I was kind of like, I'll probably like it. I don't know. I like the first episode, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't know. I don't know why I thought that. I didn't really get into it until like a good few episodes in. Because usually, like with other sports anime, I don't know, like I got into it like super fast. This one I had to like gradually get into it. I don't know why. Cause
it
like,
takes time.
Yeah, because like now, like, maybe because of how many episodes there were. I don't know, but
I think so.
But I really enjoyed it. I mean, it got my dad to ask me a bunch of different times, like, do you have any more questions about baseball? Like, on multiple occasions, because I would, like, talk about it and stuff. So, like, that's cool. And, you know, I mean, more new characters to like and, you know, care about. And I think, like we said at the very beginning, it's slightly different from other sports anime. So, it's a good break from other shows where, you know, things are kind of similar or whatever. And, like, I don't know, it makes you kind of appreciate the sport more, obviously. I think that's with every sports anime. Like, especially with a sport you've just been kind of meh about your whole life, because, like, me, I've always just been, like, meh about baseball. Like, same. I mean, we used to go to baseball games all the time when I was a little kid and stuff, but, like...
Yeah, my family's the same way.
Like, even now, I still don't want to fucking go see the fucking El Paso baseball team play. I don't care. I don't care. Like... Yeah. But if it would, like, but this, I totally care. Like, I don't know.
It's the characters, it's the situations, it's the whole thing as a whole.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, for me, I really enjoyed it, and, I haven't started season 3 yet, because I want to take a fucking break, but, but I'm looking forward to what's gonna happen, and, I'm glad that, we got to watch it, because now it's like, you know, more sports anime to love, more boys, more everything. So
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
Mhm.
So my thoughts on the series, like what I first thought of it, I didn't, like I said, as Mia said, I didn't know what to think of it. I knew it was about baseball, and I knew I've been around baseball like my most of my life, so I kind of was like
Mhm.
interested. But like I said, the first episode, the first like I don't know about 5 or 6 episodes, it was kind of hard to get into it a little bit. But once you did, it's like you get to know these characters, you get to know their backstories, you get to like laugh with them, cry with them, like fawn over them and all that stuff. And it's just like it really made me appreciate the sport as more than I had already. So um,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a longer series, but one I knew that once I started it and once I I guess I'd say fell in love with it. I had to finish it.
All right. So with me, um, I watched this like a few years ago, so I was like the only one rewatching this. So I already
Mm-hmm.
knew what was gonna happen, but I really like that even rewatching this, I would still get excited. Like it's a long series, yeah, and everything, and I was just like, I don't know about this, but seeing it all over again, I felt like I was watching it for the first time all over again. Even though, like I said, I knew things that were gonna happen, but I would still get just as nervous and like scream at my phone or whatever I was watching on it, and it was such an experience to see it again. But also, like I was able to see things that I didn't see the first time around and notice things. I was like, oh, okay. Like for example, with Furia, like I said, because I honestly felt like he didn't grow when I first watched it, but then seeing this again, I'm like, oh, it's there very subtly, but it's there.
Mm.
And the matches, oh my god, sometimes the matches would drag on forever.
Some of them were really intense.
Some of them were really intense, and then there were some where you were like, okay, can we just move on?
Move on, move along,
Yeah.
move along.
Because they were pretty long.
Mm.
And that's pretty much why the series is kind of long, because they focuses so much on one match, and you're just like, okay, can we move on? Like, especially in season 2, like the last game that you see is literally like every episode is one inning, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it took a lot. It took
The
forever.
last game is like leading up to it, and then they start the game, and then a little bit of the end. And it took a while, but
Yeah, I like the games, but it's nice to like after the games are over, like I'm like, can we just focus on like the characters' lives for a little bit because I
Yeah.
need a break.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember like watching each game and like trying to be like, oh, that's a ball, that's a foul, and then like when the other team would like kept scoring runs, I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's like
got
you're watching,
into it.
you're like watching a real game, and you're like, god damn. Like if
You got
that,
into
like
it more
yeah,
than you
like
thought.
yeah, like if I was like actually watching that shit, I'd be so pissed. I'd be like yelling and shit. I'd turn
Yeah.
into my dad, screaming at the TV.
Ace of Diamond has definitely helped me like understand baseball for sure because
Yeah.
before I could give two shits about the Rangers,
Yes.
but now I actually understand what's going on and I actually enjoy the games a little bit more because I
Yeah.
know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, like now if I have a kid and they want to play baseball, like I'll actually be invested in the shit I'm watching because usually I'm like, I don't care.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Alrighty.
if that ever
Oh, yeah.
happens.
Oh yes, and then I know Chantal, you wanted to talk about one more character, so let's
Okay.
talk about it.
The last thing that we're gonna talk about, finally, to end it like on a really good note,
On a
is
fun note.
our husbandos, our ultimate husbandos,
Hooray!
Miyuki and Chris. So I don't know which one we're gonna. You know what? Let's start off with Miyuki because we already talked about Chris a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Miyuki like at all.
yeah, we
No,
talked about
because-
Chris earlier on.
Yeah, I guess honestly we don't really have much to say with Chris because I think we already said like our piece mainly.
We
other
love
than like
we love Chris. We stand Chris Senpai.
He's the best.
we just love him
Or
so much.
as some would have called him, Chris Senpai. That's my impression of him.
Yeah, so I guess let's go ahead and just talk about Miyuki because that was like the last thing that I want to talk about because we get
Fucking best.
Carried away.
Fucking best
Yeah.
husbando.
he is like our ultimate husbando.
We love him.
Like we may like I said earlier, I may have a husbando already, which is Kuramochi, but like at the end of the day, Miyuki will be your ultimate
No,
husbando.
yeah, Miyuki,
no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. I think like
Yeah.
once you watch it, you'll be like, yeah, Miyuki.
Okay. Yeah.
You just
Miyuki's
can't not. You
ultimate
just can't
husbando.
love him.
You
I
can't
know
not.
you can't hate him. He's just like he's such a good boy, and he's
Yeah.
good looking. Because like literally, there are so many times in this show when like rando characters, or like even some of the like other coaches are like that good looking catcher. Like they all say he's good looking, and like yep, it's the glasses. I'm kidding. Glasses make people sexier, man. Come on.
Yeah, and Miyuki is such a little shit,
Yeah.
but in a good way. In a good way, not in a bad way. He's just
He's
he's
very,
so
yeah, he's like he'll tease you, but like he means well.
Yeah.
he's a fun character to have around.
He's kind of like an
And-
icebreaker character. So
He's always messing with everyone. I mean, when Samura gets into Seido, he like
he tries to tricks him.
yeah, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, that's like your first taste of like Miyuki, like who he really is, because like at the beginning, like when Samura first goes to the school to like see what it's like before he even decides to go there, like he pitches to Miyuki, and Miyuki is like, you know, he's like just some, you know, you're just like, oh, that guy seems cool, whatever. But then when Samura like finally becomes like a student at the school, and he's like late to the first practice, like so is Miyuki, and then you just get to see Miyuki be like such a low shitlord to like Samura, basically. He like he tricks him, and then like so that way he can like get into
first.
get into the group without being seen. And then of course, you know, I mean, Coach
for it.
Coach knows Miyuki too well, and is like, you're also in trouble, Miyuki. So
because he was
so
like,
funny.
because when Samura first started, when he sees Miyuki, and he was like, man, I shouldn't have stayed up all night watching that DVD, and he tries to like, put, I don't know, like he tries to trick Samura, thinking like, oh, no, you're not gonna get in trouble, blah 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 blah. And it does the exact opposite for both of them.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's being so nice. And then he like flips on. He's like, oh my god, there's someone trying to get on the line. I'm like, oh my god. He's so entertaining because he's like a little shit.
He's a little trickster.
He's very
he's such a fun character.
Yeah, he's very sneaky. He's like you can tell he's always kind of like thinking about trying to be like a few steps ahead of everybody. And like, you know, there's always those moments where they like look at him and they're like, really, dude, like really you just like did that or said that, and he just like has a shit-eating grin on his face.
He's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah. He's like super
I fucked with that person, heh. Like, it's just so funny to watch, and like
I love it. It's so hilarious to see like Miyuki mess around with everybody, especially with Samura. He messes with Samura a little too much.
I think it's because it's so easy for him to do it. Like
yeah.
But Miyuki is ultimate husbando. Like he's just so fun, and he's so cute, and like I don't know, he just seems like a person you really want to like actually like be around. Even if he like fucks with you at some point, it's like I really
you still
don't
want
care.
him to be your friend.
Like I still want to like be around him.
Yeah.
So like like for sure I would love being around Miyuki if he was real.
Yeah, he's such a good boy. Like at the end of the day, you'll love him.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be the reason why you want to stay and watch Ace of Diamond, because of Miyuki. He makes things entertaining.
And the
for
good
sure.
thing, and like the like better thing is like he's not the main character. Like that's what also makes him interesting, is he is not the main character of the show. He's a secondary character.
Yeah.
I mean, he eventually becomes one of the main characters, because like at this point, like the show, there's multiple main characters. Like Samura is still the main character, but like
there's Furia.
Like Miyuki is one of the other main characters.
I mean, we got his backstory in this too.
Yeah, he's so cute when he's little.
We got to see him as a little tiny child.
A little bab. He's so cute. Even when he's a little kid, he wears fucking glasses, and he's so adorable.
He wears his glasses and his hat to the
Like,
side.
you want to pinch his cheeks. He's so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Very
I know, and he's so
adorable.
cool. Like, he wears his hat, like, sideways. Like that usually doesn't look cool on people, but on Miyuki it looks fucking cool. Like, he pulls it off.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so serious. He fucking wears, like, contacts under the fucking, like, sports goggle shit that he wears when he plays. And he looks fucking cool. And then when he wears regular ass glasses, you're like, he still looks cool. Like, I don't know. He's a well designed character. Like, in terms of just, like, character design, I think he's a very nice design. Usually I don't like the characters with glasses. Like, they're usually not my favorites for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I wear glasses. Like, I have to wear glasses. And, like, I don't know. It's just the characters with glasses are, like, never my favorites. But Miyuki is, like...
Miyuki's definitely the exception.
Yeah, he is, like, definitely an exception. I love him.
Yeah.
And he's very, very intelligent. And you can see that whenever he... when you see him, you know, catching and stuff like that. And, like, he's constantly thinking.
Yeah. And he's very observant, just like Karamochi. About the aspects of baseball, about the team, kind of most of the time. So,
and he's a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's he's like the catcher, and like that's an interesting position to like really want to be, because like you know, you would think most people would be like, I want to be the pitcher, or like I want to be the shortstop, because those are words I've heard before. Like, that sounds cool. But, like, he volunteers as a child to be a catcher.
And that surprises people.
Because the catcher, like, is basically in control on the field, pretty much. Which is an interesting position to be in. Which is, like, I don't know, I think it's a cool aspect of his character. Is, like, he's so cool. And he's also the catcher. And that's also why he's super... smart, and he's really good at the game. Like, he's really good
at the tells. Yeah.
He's really good at baseball, and he can bat. Well, I mean, you know, when there's runners on the base.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you'll see him fail sometimes when he bats, and it's kind of hilarious. But when it matters, he does come through.
Yeah. Also, we just thirst after him, like, pretty much, like, all the time.
The constant screen caps.
Lots of Miyuki.
I mean, they're the ones that draw it, okay? They're the ones that put that shit on screen. Like, I'm gonna screen cap it. Like, I'm gonna screenshot it.
Not saying that's a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, if they give us close-ups of his ass, I mean, we're not gonna look away.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing. If you'll get a lot of ass shots.
Yeah.
Which we're not complaining. I mean, there's some characters where I'm just like, ew, I don't want to see that, but Miyuki
again
though
is the exception. We just love him so much.
Yeah, I hope that comes out very clearly, because jeez, I mean, I think we're holding ourselves back.
Yeah.
But like,
or we will be here for like another 3 hours.
Yeah, but just know that we are very, very thirsty.
Just know that, like, we would love to be a part of a catcher sandwich between Chris Senpai and Miyuki. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my god.
I mean, where's the lie?
Yeah, like, where's the lie? Come on. I'm just being honest.
You're just speaking facts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just funny when you say that.
I mean, it's just a tiny little glimpse of what our group chat has looked over the past month.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just screenshots of Miyuki.
And Mia saying catch your sandwich like all the time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who wouldn't? Especially with Chris when he has his hair down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, can I just say, creator of this series and the people that are directing it and stuff, please stop putting Chris in that stupid hairstyle. Like, legit, just like let his hair like just kind of be natural the way that it is when it's like all down, because he looks so much better like that.
He does. Oh my, especially like when he has his hair down and he just like flicks it back. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, and
why?
his little
I'm
curly
like,
cue.
yeah, why is this boy not real? What the fuck? Like,
I know. I remember that one post that I sent you guys where he's like, he's basically a Disney prince. I was like, yeah.
pretty much. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all those ones that you sent us were pretty accurate.
Yeah, which I will tweet them out once this episode comes out. So, yeah.
So,
Fun stuff overall.
I think we're done. Are we done being thirsty
Okay.
and shit?
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last
So,
last little bits of information.
Yeah, we
You
have
can find-
announcements.
Yeah. Hold on just a second. But the last little bits of information. If you want to watch this show, it is streaming on Crunchyroll. So if you're interested, go to Crunchyroll. It is free. So there you go.
Mhm.
So, announcements, real quick. The end of the episode. Our next episode is going to come out in July. And we are going to be watching Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun because by the time this episode of ours comes out, I think Gigi and Gwen's Shoujo Trash Showdown episode should already be out, their newest episode. We're doing a collab with Gigi and Gwen, our good friends here on YouTube and Twitter.
Yep.
They have their own podcast called Shoujo Trash Showdown, where they talk about anything shoujo, including manga, and anime and things like that.
Otome games and all that
yeah,
stuff.
and Otome games. And they reached out to us because they saw that we made our own podcast, and of course we're so grateful. So
Yes, we appreciate it.
we're doing a collab with them. Basically, we're each gonna make our own episode on Nozaki-kun, and basically just kind of do our own things, but whatever questions they get asked, we will also answer
And the same
those
for
questions.
for them. Yeah.
And the same goes for us. So if you have any questions, we'll post about it on Twitter as well, like with the podcast Twitter. But if you have any questions about that show that you want us to answer for when we record for that episode, please let us know, because then we'll also give those questions to Gigi and Gwen to answer.
Yes.
So that's basically going to be our collab. We're super excited.
Yes, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're very appreciative.
I'm like
So thank you, Gigi and Gwen.
so excited. If you would like to subscribe, please do so, and please hit the little bell icon so that way you're notified every time we upload on this channel, including bonus episodes and any other announcements that we feel we have to put on this channel. And please make sure you also subscribe to Gigi's channel, Anime Palooza, because that is where Gigi and Gwen's podcast, Shoujo Trash Showdown, is put up. So that way you guys can hear not only our episode for next month, but their episode as well, because their podcast is really fun. I love listening to it.
Me too.
They have a lot of
too.
really fun, interesting things to say. They're just as thirsty as we are about cute boys. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube, Mia Fran, and to Chantal's YouTube, Marshmallow Love. If you haven't already, you should, because I think we post pretty good content on our channels. Just saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And make sure you follow us on Twitter at Q_gals, and follow me, Chantal and Erica, on Twitter. We each have a Twitter. Everything's in the description.
We apologize if this is a little long, if it ends up being a little long. We just had a lot of thoughts, but I hope we hope that you enjoyed all of our thoughts on this episode. So
It's just a long series.
yes,
Lots to talk about.
and I hope you enjoy all of our future episodes.
Anyway,
Nice.
thank you guys again so much for listening to this
Yes, thank
episode.
you.
To this episode of Q for You podcast. Please make sure to tune in next week, or not next week, next month. Sorry, tune in next month again for our first collab and our next episode on Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, which you can watch on Crunchyroll for free.
And you can buy it from Sentai.
And you can buy it from Sentai Filmworks if you would like to purchase it on Blu-ray or DVD.
So-
again, thank you guys so much for listening. Please stan Miyuki. Holy shit.
Please.
stand him.
Do it for Miyuki.
Do it for Miyuki.
Yes.
Do it for Best Boy.
Yeah. Thank you
Do
so
it
much.
for Chris Senpai.
Yeah.
Do it for Chris Senpai.
Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it, and see you next month.
Yep. Have fun. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
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 Bye.